This. All right. So, all right. I don't know if you got my stream up, but I'm gonna show you what the fuck I was talking about. Oh, look! I already got that shit up. You watching?
My fucking Twitch and like
Take your time.
sometimes I gotta like refresh the page in order for you to show up.
Take your fucking time, man.
Right.
Just let me know when you have it up.
Load. Okay, yeah, there you go.
You good?
Yep.
There may be a delay, so this is what I mean. This is from Young Justice, and this is Robin talking to Black Canary about essentially what he feels as his path. And I thought it was probably, like I said, in just my opinion, I feel that it was, the best bit of like dialogue that I've really ever heard come out of a Robin. Oh, I'm just making sure my kid's still asleep. Just making sure he's still asleep. All right, so this is what's up, Master Tater. Thank you so much for the 100 bits. Thank you so much.
Oh, Master Tater coming in.
Fuck yeah, man, that's the GOAT, Mr. GOAT. That's what I'm gonna call Mr. GOAT. But so yeah, so if you watch, it's literally not even a minute long, but I thought it was like, wow, that's some shit. But
traumatized. I finally become leader and wind up sending all of my friends to their deaths. I know I did what I had to, but I hated it. When we started this team, I was desperate to be in charge. Not anymore. And that's not even the worst of it. You can't tell Batman. Nothing.
That slight kind of shame that you see come over Robin before he says that is kind of, it's really telling to me. Like, I know I'm not supposed to feel this way, but I do. And you can tell, like, he's not just talking about his mentor, he's talking about, like, a father. You know what I mean? So, but, yeah. My bad.
What's this wrong? I always wanted, expected to grow up and become him. And the hero bit, I'm still all in. But that thing inside of him, the thing that drives him to sacrifice everything for the sake of his mission, that's not me. I don't want to be the Batman anymore.
Talk about the most realist shit that I've ever heard come out of Robin before. Because for the first time, it wasn't just speculating on or having a vague understanding of what he expects of himself, trying to fill the big man's shoes. You know what I'm saying? Because now he's had a real, non-training wheels experience on what it is to lose so much, yet you still got to do what you got to do. So it's like, imagine Robin's watching his teammates die, right? He's probably paralyzed with fear. He has no idea what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, so hard for a child to keep his composure, but he sees Batman essentially get into his bag every single time. Every single time. And it's like, but just going back to what you said about Robin, or Nightwing rather, is Nightwing is such a separate from Batman that I'd be afraid that if they were to try their hand at a Nightwing solo project, people are going to go in expecting Batman or some vague relations to Batman, and I just don't feel like that is fair, considering that character does everything possible to get out of the shadow of the Bat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let me just say something, because the reason why I kind of got into Titans is because in the first season
you said fuck Batman.
No, the reason why I like Titans is because in the first season he had that conflict of where like he was going crazy like Batman would, but then he ended up going a little extra crazy, and he's like, shit, what am I becoming? And he starts fearing like doing what he usually does again, and that's why I'm like, wow, that's why I imagine like Robin going into Nightwing would be like, because he struggles with what Batman taught him and with what he feels morally is right.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch even the animated
They're
series,
conflicting.
if you watch the animated series, they even get into
So
the day that
Robin is, no matter where you put him in, he's always in the same mindset.
Yeah, but
He's scared. He left.
You also got to consider though. You also got to consider though that
I ain't fucking with this shit no more.
Yeah, he bitch slapped the shit out of Batman. But let's go ahead and rewatch this trailer and see if there's anything more to note about.
Tell me something.
Wait, is this house the same house from?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I was like, wow, they got the balls. They're really about reusing set pieces now. But I don't know. Right. I actually speculated that the woman who was going to play Barry's mom was going to be the same woman from the TV show, because the back of the head still looks similar, but then they showed what Barry's mom looks like, and it's not her.
This is the woman my mom was.
They're changing the actor of Barry's dad. I didn't realize that till now. Bat flick. Master Tater coming through with the bat flick. Shout out. But the guy who originally played Barry's dad in the Justice League movie was played by the same guy who turns into Dr. Manhattan. Now they have this guy from Office Space now being Barry's dad. So that's interesting.
Office Space.
Yeah, come on. Everybody remembers Office Space. Everybody remembers Office Space. I still remember the guy who was quiet that was sitting at his desk. He's like, I'm going to burn this motherfucker down or something like that.
Well, and then they one day they took the copy machine out one day.
And they beat the shit out of it.
They busted that ass, boy.
All right, let's see. So now that I've had this fresh in my mind, I have conjured up some thoughts. Well, theories, really. So, for anybody who doesn't know this already, which, if you don't know, in my opinion, you've been living under a rock for a while, DC is about to just do a whole complete lineup change. Okay? The same actors who have played the legacy actors before are not coming back in, and we're going to get essentially a whole new universe. Okay? James Gunn has already announced this. Now, with that being said, I got a missed call. Hold on. Nobody I know. So with that being said, my son's waking up, so I got to wrap this up pretty quick. Sorry. So with that being said, this movie is supposed to play as the pivot point to bring DC into the right universe with the continuity. Okay. So hence the reason why Ben Affleck's in it. Hence the reason why Henry Cavill isn't, and they're not even bringing Superman. They're bringing Cara Jor-El, which is Supergirl. What I'm theorizing, because now General Zod seems to be in it, is they are going to intercept General Zod before he comes and does harm to the planet to find Superman. That's my theory. Now, Ben Affleck is in it. Now, it is supposed to be Flashpoint, but I also sit here and I wonder, right? Where are all the gimmicks of Flashpoint? That's number one. Number two, are we going to get a Reverse Flash? Because Reverse Flash was the one who convinced Barry to do a Flashpoint in the first place. Then number three, what about all the characters that we only got in Flashpoint that we weren't able to get anywhere else? Such as Thomas Wayne Batman. Because he was ruthless. Right?
He was way ruthless.
Way ruthless. So there's a lot of speculation done. What I will say is that I am not going in to see this movie with any expectations that it's going to be covering the source material to a fault. That's just where I'm going with this. This is not to be followed religiously like most comic book adaptations. You know what I'm saying? You're going into this knowing that the studio has an agenda. By the end of this movie, the entire DC universe, for better or for worse, is going to be reset. And Michael Keaton happens to be in it. Which again, I'm one of those people that say that luckily he comes back now and he didn't come back before because CGI, you know, has come a long way. So now the fact that he can do half this shit can be quote unquote believable. Which, whatever. I think every DC movie has an agenda. Now they do. You're talking about catching up on 10 years of movie productions. You know, 10 fucking years. And now there's, now the old DCEU has to be buried along with Zack Snyder's tears. Because that's who I hold responsible, man. That's who I hold responsible to this whole thing, was Zack Snyder. You know what I'm saying? They hired a man to jumpstart a universe when...
Which I don't think he was ready for.
It's not that they were ready for it. He had no intention on doing anything by the standard that comic book fans wanted it. And he said that going into Man of Steel, and he's doubled down on it going into Batman versus Superman. I keep hearing a rumor of Batman Forever with old Keaton in it. Yeah, supposedly there was supposed to be a Batman Beyond movie that was in pre-production, and they scrapped it along with everything else from the old DCEU, which most people are catching a titty attack. Oh my god, we would have been dope to have a nice Batman Beyond movie. And I say, relax. Relax. It could still come. You know what I'm saying? But maybe, just like everything else in Hollywood, they want to milk this cash cow out of Keaton by having him be the original Batman for a bit. You know, and I'm all for it, I guess, because
I think this movie is a test to see how well this movie can bank before they do Beyond.
Nah, this movie is a scapegoat. That's what this movie is. This movie's a loophole. Yeah, this movie's a loophole. This is the way that they're gonna fix the Snyderverse or the DCEU, whatever the fuck, is because they're having Flash reboot everything just like he did in the comic books fucking 50 times over. So it's like, this is the scapegoat to get out of that universe into a different series of events. Which I'm just like, listen, when the fucking house is on fire, I don't sit back and try to salvage, like, I don't sit there to try to pack up everything I can salvage. I get the fuck out of the house. So, I mean, you can argue, I think just DC is too far gone for this. You know? Like,
they need someone dedicated as willing to this.
That's why they got James Gunn. That's why they got James Gunn. But I argue that James Gunn is not an end-all be-all to this shit either. Because James Gunn, I mean, I don't know. Again, this is all opinionative, and the comic book community is toxic anyway. So I'm just going to put my head on a swivel and say this. DC right now should just focus on coming out with decent content that isn't going to start a fucking any more diversity amongst its fans, and stop trying to compete with Marvel. It's done. It's over. And I'm not saying in the sense that Marvel has a bigger dick than DC or anything like that, but it's like, you can't even dream to competing with the franchise that has already established itself for over 10 years. So it's like, stop letting that be the bar, because you're not going to hit it.
Not only that, but the formula that Marvel was using is starting to stale out as well.
Yeah, but they know that.
So,
they know that. They know that. And that's why Kevin Feige had an emergency meeting with all the writers earlier or late last year to be like, okay, Phase 4 was underwhelming. I call it ass. You know, with the exception of No Way Home. But they said, okay, Phase 4 was bad. We haven't had a completely bad phase before. This is new. We have to get back to the writer's table and figure out what's wrong. And I'll tell you what's wrong. And I am literally not going to say a single thing that a bunch of opinion pieces haven't thrown out there millions of times. First of all, you establish an identity with a group of people for over 10 years. Then you remove the foundations of that group via Tony Stark and Captain America, right? The group has lost its identity. Thor was a trash movie. Doctor Strange should have been the mecca or at least a foundation starting to build with the new cast of Avengers, but it wasn't even a Doctor Strange movie. It was a Scarlet Witch movie featuring Doctor Strange. I mean, the guy didn't even have a character arc. You know, it's insulting to me. You know what I'm saying? Then you have the Marvel TV shows that just got spat the fuck out, which I would say that the only good things that have come from those TV shows, please keep in mind, this is an opinion, okay? I'm not trying to say that this should be everybody's opinion. The only useful products that came out of that was arguably WandaVision, Loki, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Everything else could have wasted space. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was a waste of space to me. All it did was just cause controversy.
I'm still confused on fucking Loki. I watched that shit twice. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, my son is getting up. I'm gonna see if I can get him situated without having to sign off. So just bear with me, folks. Give me 1 second. Pocket will entertain y'all.
Yeah, I'll just talk. So I'm gonna put my opinion on DC. He's away. I think DC missed a lot of opportunities, and I'm not just saying that for the main heroes that are out now, but I'm saying that for just there are other, I guess, heroes and anti-heroes that they could have touched on that could refreshen the universe. Hey, there he is.
Just wanted to say hi. Say hi, puppy. His breathing is still ugh.
He's like, what? I just woke up.
Hi. Hi.
I was just saying that DC also missed opportunities on other heroes and anti-heroes that they could have probably put.
Zack Snyder. That's Zack Snyder. Even if I'm wrong, I'm still right. Fuck Zack Snyder. Like, he's the reason that DC went up in flames as hard as it did. And I was just covering that point a little bit before I got Gabriel, was Zack Snyder said very clearly when making Man of Steel, I am not making your Superman. I'm making my Superman. That's what he said. He said, I have no intentions on emulating the Superman that everybody knows. I want to make my Superman. And people were like, I don't give a shit. It's a Superman movie. We haven't had one since Superman Returns, which is a criminally underrated Superman movie, by the way. And did his own thing. And since DC fans were desperate to get something off the ground, of course they flocked to it. So it became a moderate success. You know, so then the DC studios were like, give this man creative lead over the entire universe. And I'm sitting here like, are you out of your fucking mind? Why would you do that? And then when creating Batman versus Superman, again, he told everybody, I'm not making your Batman. I'm making my Batman. My Batman the way I see him. And it's like, oh God, he did this interview and YouTube content creators have covered it. But I just have to reiterate this because I've ranted on about this to so many people. So I think it's about time that I rant about this on my stream. First of all, and we could literally spend 4 hours here talking about this this specific issue that I had with the previous DC universe. Zack Snyder sat there and was like, yeah, I tried to base my Batman off of The Dark Knight Returns. Which it's like, it's been done, bro. It's been so done already. It's been overdone. Like with this old man Batman shit, right? But then he was like, yeah, and, you know, he kills a lot of people in that comic book. So, you know, I wanted to emulate that. It's my Batman. And it's like, well, thank you, Mr. Snyder, because you just clarified to us that you didn't read a goddamn thing because he doesn't kill a single person in that entire comic series. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. Number two, and there's a really great video, and I'm going to shout the guy out because he's a nice upcoming YouTuber, and what he does is that he makes video essays on, you know, his opinion pieces on, you know, more of the superhero genre, but he literally came out with like a 20-minute video explaining why Batman does not kill. He's on YouTube. His name is High Top Films. I think it's really great. He even covers probably one of the most powerful Spider-Man 2 video essays. I think he did a magnificent job really breaking that down. But anyways, he goes into a 20-minute rant, very powerfully, I might add, explaining why Batman doesn't kill people. Right? And after you listen to this guy's explanation, like, he doesn't say anything that people don't already know, but after you hear that guy's explanation, it almost becomes a travesty that Batman ends up catching bodies in BVS, because you're literally taking away his entire character arc. You know, because the whole appeal about Batman isn't the fact that whether or not he's going to win or lose. It's Batman. The guy has better odds than Superman, which really says something about the writing for DC. But it's like, you never really speculate on whether Batman's going to win. You know Batman's going to win. What you sit there and when you watch and when you invest in is his character struggling with the duality of what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like Batman knows that he could just murder niggas. Excuse my French, I'm so sorry. Murder people. We had to bleep that one out. But he can murder people left and right if he wanted to. He's a trained ninja. He knows over 100 different martial arts techniques and has mastered them. If he wanted to take people out, he would have did it. But you don't watch this. You don't watch or read his stories for that. You watch it because you want to see Batman struggling with that and see him persevere over that. So it's like when Zack Snyder just puts it like, yeah, he just murks people, and it's like, all right, well, why does Batman have any villains in the first place if he just kills everybody? It doesn't make any sense. But I can literally rant on about that for hours. Right, Bobby? Right? Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I digress with that. But yeah, man, it's just, I feel it's a missed opportunity. They should have just kept going with the pre-production of Batman Beyond, because it would have been really nice to see, instead of seeing somebody trying to emulate Bruce Wayne for the 7th billionth time, I would have liked to see an original take, a first take on Terry McGinnis. Which, I will admit, Terry McGinnis isn't, and I think it speaks more because he's not intimidating. You know what I'm saying? Like, Terry McGinnis has no sense of hiding in the shadows and doing a scary voice at you to scare the shit out of you. Terry McGinnis goes in with a mission mind state and kicks your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not hiding in the shadows, so to speak. But mostly because at the time period to which he's Batman, none of that's necessary anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, everybody thinks that Batman was, you know, a thing of the past, yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Terry doesn't carry the bravado of Batman, but
he gets things done.
There's such a good story in there to tell. First of all, he lost his father. You know what I'm saying?
Then Bruce became his father figure.
Then Bruce became, reluctantly. Because I don't know if you remember the first episode, but Bruce Wayne wanted nothing to do with him.
They didn't like each other.
And then Terry McGinnis jacked his suit. And then he was like, you got the nerve to take my shit. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, what's up, puppy? And then, you know, Bruce Wayne formally introduces himself to Terry's mom and was like, welcome to my world, Mr. McGinnis. And then that story unfolds. You know what I'm saying? Where you have Terry essentially not minding his surroundings. So Bruce Wayne has to carry him through that aspect. Or like underestimating certain villains. Like, there is such a character arc. And then on top of that too, there's a character arc for Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne has been alone before meeting Terry for, I would say, a number of years. Because Alfred already passed away. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't keep in touch with any of the Robins, which fits. You know what I'm saying? Batgirl is the new Commissioner Gordon, which fits. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's a story here because you have to take an isolated, jaded, pissed off, broody Bruce Wayne, who's also a codger, you know, a crotchety old man, and then you have to have him warm up to the idea of not just taking another kid and putting him in harm's way, but to also be a surrogate father to Terry, knowing what he lost. That's a story worth telling. Not this flaring shit in CGI Michael Keaton, which again, I appreciate because I appreciate Michael Keaton's performance. But who's to say that I won't walk out of that theater or whatever, you know what I'm saying, watching this movie feeling like, damn, y'all, I really wish the last memory I had of Keaton was from fucking Batman Returns. Because it's like, now you got CGI Keaton and 2023 film writing. And it's like, shit, yo, you're going to fuck this up. You're going to fuck up the vibe of this character. You know what I'm saying? But again, I just think I feel like this is a more desperate attempt to bring in box office dollars than it was to cast Andrew and Toby in No Way Home.
Yeah.
Because it, you know, not to brag, Spider-Man did it first with the legacy characters. And it was executed beautifully. But now everybody wants to jump on that. And it's like, God damn it, man. Like, I understand. And the only thing I appreciate out of this, well, I'm saying after No Way Home, as far as bringing back legacy characters, is because at least I know that my once favorite actors are still getting paychecks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
do is to stop copying each other and try to come up with something.
That'll never happen. Never ever happen. Never ever happen. That'll never happen.
This formula's working. Let me try this.
Exactly.
And then it doesn't work.
That's exactly. Yep. That's exactly what it is. They will never like. I'm not gonna say that Marvel has really taken any pages out of DC's book. I'm just gonna say that objectively, but DC has definitely tried to emulate a lot of Marvel's catching lightning in a bottle. You know what I'm saying? Again, I just think that just like
I used to make those sounds, yeah.
He does too. I was making that sound when I woke up this morning. But like, what was I saying? But like, DC has the same problem that Star Wars has right now. Cohesiveness. Stop coming out with a movie and just waiting to see how it does in the box office before you write your next film. Write cohesively. If you don't write, first of all, I would say that the majority of the fan base who has been invested into these characters are probably 30 plus at this point.
Yeah.
We've seen this shit before. Now we're in the nitpicking age, right? Where it's like the simplest shit can take you out of a movie completely, right? For me, with Man of Steel, it was all the buildings falling over. Which, again, I didn't really mind it because it's like, what do you fucking expect? He's a Kryptonian.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like Dragon Ball Z characters. So it's like,
I always said, I'm like, yo, this superhero causes way too much damage for anybody's life.
But he's a Kryptonian. He's a Kryptonian. Like literally, and this is where I draw the line with Superman. There is a comic book issue. I don't know which comic book issue it is. I just know it exists. That Superman, to avoid a cosmic calamity, chains together planets to pull them out of the way of a cataclysm. Listen to that sentence one more time. He takes a chain and wrangles planets out of the way for
We're back like I think 15, 20 years ago. He could only
how
reverse
OP
the planet back.
How OP can you be? Like that pretty much does it. So it's like, you know,
there's never a cap to his power. I hate that shit.
That's why again. But that's why again nobody watches Superman movies to see if Superman's gonna lose. Nobody does that. But you watch a Superman movie to see the stakes and to see how far he's willing to go. And that's why today it's hard to make a superhero movie. Or Hollywood to make a superhero movie. Because
I would like if they had a Batman where he went a little too far and then he's struggling with that aspect.
Flashpoint Batman.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not gonna be like that.
I just
Anyways.
don't want Batman anymore. Like, Michael Keaton is the cherry on top, and that's it. That's all I need. We'll never get a Kevin Conroy, rest in peace, live action Batman, and nobody ever better reference Infinite Crisis from the CW show. Let's just not go there. But I'm not getting that. So it's like, I'm done at this point. Like, I'm hoping. What's up, puppy? I'm hoping that with the Pattinson movie, I hope that it does a good job. He's
trying
just
to talk to you.
What? 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 What?
I got an opinion on those heroes you're talking about.
What? What? What?
You like Batman?
You like Batman?
What's your opinion on Batman?
That's right. It's my. He turns 9 months today, don't ya? Don't ya, Poppy? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. He's so happy. He's a very happy baby. That's one thing I can appreciate.
Lauren?
Gladys Lauren, yes, I know he's so little. Right, Bobby? Wait, are you all doing a stream? Well, me and Pocket are, we tend to do this kind of like co-host thing, because we're both family men, so we have way too much free time in the morning. So typically we just jump on Discord and just start yakking away. But then I started to understand that I had a message to send with this Flash trailer. I had something to say, yo. I had something to say. But again, once you remove all of that, because lately I have been able to watch movies with more accepting what they are rather than what they're trying to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same rate, even with that being said, some things still suck. Like, again, Batman versus Superman is probably, in my opinion, and this is really saying something, the worst attempt at the best superheroes movie I have ever seen. Because it wasn't so much that Batman started, this is cool to see though, because Dr. Chris and I try to co-stream at some point. Love seeing great examples. Hell yeah, do it. It's so much better when you have somebody to bounce shit off of, especially Pocket, because me and Pocket, we, what's awesome about this isn't rude.
So we do this offline all the time.
We do this shit offline all the time and did this years prior. I was just telling Pocket not too long ago, if we would have did this 10 years ago, we would have been making money. We would have had a fucking I'm sorry, Poppy. A skyrocketed YouTube channel. Like, I kid you not, because this is all we do. Sometimes we would watch a show and get so into what's happening in the moment, we will pause the show and have an hour-long conversation and then finally hit play after the fact. Like, we've done this for years. So, but yeah, anyways, back to this. I have high hopes for DC because, well, if I'm going to be honest, Marvel doesn't have anybody I want to invest in anymore. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can just put it now. Give me 1 second, guys. Pocket's gonna chat with y'all for a second.
Yeah. I think they both have room to grow in a sense because Marvel started strong, but then kind of declined a little bit because I think their formula is out of date and they need something fresh to bring the universe back to an interesting state. But the thing with DC is, like my cousin was saying before, it needs a complete reboot. Like everything that they've been trying to put out before, it's just cookie crumbles type thing. It's like It's here and there, and pretty much nowhere.
As I said, I have to make him a bottle in a second, so that'll buy me some time. But just to close out this, it's not just rebooting, because you can reboot things a million times and still get the wrong shit every time. You need cohesiveness. You need cohesiveness. You need cohesiveness. If, like, I'm not expecting every movie to be totally the same, because that was the problem with the Snyderverse. Everything was washed out and gritty and serious, and it's like, you can't make a Flash movie like that, because that's the opposite from that character. You know what I'm saying? No, that's like making a Batman movie. I'm just saying, that's like making a Batman movie, and the only times he comes out is during the day. The shit don't make any sense. It's not totally accurate. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you can take certain liberties with certain characters. That's fine, and you should, because you shouldn't just use all of your creative energy to make a copy and paste of something. So I respect the efforts of making something original. But when you go so far off the bound that the character isn't even familiar to you anymore, that's when you're like, wait, what? See, like, in my opinion, and I'm gonna leave you with this hot take while I go make a bottle, is Ben Affleck arguably, and this is just my opinion, right? Pocket may have a different opinion. What saved Ben Affleck was the warehouse scene, where he destroyed like 30 henchmen in Arkham Asylum style. To me, that's what saved him. Because literally no other scene aside from that even emulates a competent Batman. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have a whole bunch of time as Bruce Wayne, which the only time was when he ran into the debris and he saved the people in the Kryptonian fight. When he went to the party for Lex Luthor and met Wonder Woman, who was hiding her sword in her between her ass cheeks. The only time throughout that entire party scene that Ben Affleck even gave me a taste of what of his Bruce Wayne was when Clark Kent went up to him and he goes, "Oh, hi, I'm Clark Kent from the Daily Planet." And he's like, "Do I own this one?" That was the only time you got a taste of Bruce Wayne. Like a real taste of Bruce Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Then you have his little banter with Alfred, which I think was criminally cut short. I think there should have been more of that, because I think Jeremy Irons played a decent Alfred. You know what I'm saying? But you couldn't get used to him because he had no fucking screen time. You know what I'm saying? My point being is Ben Affleck, if he would have did that role 10 years prior, and in a universe where the Christian Bale Batman Begins movie did not exist, I feel he could have been the next big thing. But the problem is that they already executed a perfect Batman origin story, which was Batman Begins, which I think arguably is probably the best Batman movie to date. It's just, it has literally everything you're asking for. It has the parents getting shot in the alley, check. Brood and emo Bruce Wayne, check. Pissed off, wants to use vengeance to hunt down criminals, check. Martial arts training, check. The importance of hiding in the shadows and being an intimidating force of nature, check. Batsuit, check. Everything was checked for me as far as that movie. So when you have Ben Affleck and the dude just walks on screen as Batman, yes, I know, he's a seasoned Batman, with an origin story that is so, not origin story, a journey story that is so, you have no idea what the hell happened throughout his career in Batman. The only thing you know is that Robin died by the Joker's hand. You know nothing else. You don't know if he fought Mr. Freeze. I think they made a quip about the exploding pumpkin bombs. So it's like, you knew he ran into Penguin, but it's like, that's it. That's it. They could have used 10 minutes to show Batman taking down somebody, even if it was a D-class villain from the Rogues Gallery, just to show you how experienced he was. Because you didn't get any of that. The only thing you got was the Gotham City PD uncovering the human trafficking scheme. That was it.
Well, can I say something about the Batman and the Joker moment in the 4-hour Snyder cut?
Oh, please.
I know you don't like that movie, but the only time I kind of felt tension between those two is when Joker made that remark about Robin in the end.
Yeah, but
You
then
gotta admit that was kind of badass.
I would have enjoyed it if Ben Affleck didn't screw it up and they had to be edgelord Batman by being like, "I'll punch you in the fucking head." Whoa! Like.
But I mean, at that point, everything was going to shit anyway. So
I get it.
You had to follow.
I get it, but it's like when you do that, when you go so far away from the character, I don't see Batman. I see Ben Affleck in a bat costume. And maybe, and again, I'll go ahead and say that that's my problem, right? Because I know, you know, since I started following Snyder Cut Facebook pages and for trolling purposes, but I know that there is a dedicated fan base to Ben Affleck. I know this, and
that was just that one part that I liked. I didn't really.
No, but there's a huge fan base that will say that Ben Affleck is the best Batman to date, and whether or not I think people are crazy, that's you know, whatever.
I won't say he's the best, but he's okay.
You would be so surprised to find out how many people will say that he is the best Batman period.
Probably because they brought the short ear Batman. A lot of people like that Batman.
Oh God, which is like it's been done before. Christ on a cross.
Has it? I remember all long ear Batmans.
It's like everybody has this appeal with The Dark Knight Returns. And The Dark Knight Returns is probably one of the best Batman arcs I have ever had the privilege of reading. The problem is that you can't just take elements out of that and then apply it to different foundations, because then it doesn't make sense anymore. See, the whole appeal for me, again, I'm just going to throw this out there for the umpteenth time, that this is all just opinions. The appeal for me for Dark Knight Returns was to really show that Bruce Wayne is as batshit, no pun intended, as his rogue gallery of villains. And that's what Dark Knight Returns really hits the nail on the head about. Because there's a scene or a panel, whatever, whether you watch the cartoon or read the comic book, where Bruce Wayne is sitting in a chair. And sure, and he's, he hasn't been Batman for over 10 years, right? And he's sitting in the chair and he's just flipping through the TV channels, right? And it seems that every other channel he flips to is a news story about some criminal doing some heinous shit, you know what I'm saying? Which is making him visually upset, right? So every other channel he's flipping to is a homicide, a kidnapping, a mugging, which is clearly showing that Gotham has gone to complete shit in his absence, right? So he's trying to fight that compulsion of being Batman, of going back out into the streets and showing, the villains who real big daddy dick Batman, you know what I'm saying, who really runs Gotham. But he can't, because he knows he has to stay retired, right? But there's a moment where he flips to a channel and the Mark of Zorro comes on, which, for anybody who isn't super educated on Batman, that was the inspiration of Bruce Wayne to become Batman, was the Mark of Zorro. And it also was the movie that Bruce Wayne and his parents happened to see before they were murdered. So when that came on, it showed him having flashbacks, like PTSD of his parents' murder, right? And when the flashback is over, he hears Bruce Wayne hears Batman, not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne hears Batman's voice in his head saying, "You try to hold me back, but you're weak. You're nothing but a rusty trap, a hollow shell." You know what I'm saying? So Batman, the psyche of Batman, is then trying to be released, trying to escape from the clutches of Bruce Wayne, right? And that's when Bruce Wayne just can't take it anymore, and he looks up and he's like, the time has come, and then boom, goes right back out into the streets of Gotham. No warm-up push-ups, no sit-ups, no nothing. Gets on the suit and just starts beating some ass. Because it's
I wish they would show that struggle.
But that's my point, though. But they won't. But Hollywood is yet to do that. Hollywood would take the old man Batman that's tired, right? You had that in BVS, Batman versus Superman, right? You also had that in The Dark Knight Rises. Because Bruce Wayne had been retired from Batman for over 3 years, if I'm getting that time right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they want to show a crusty, faithless Bruce Wayne. And it's like, that's fine, but you have to have the shit that's leading up to that as well. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, it's just more about stop taking shit from other things, other elements from shit, if you're not going to bother to tell the full story. Okay? Stop taking liberties from Dark Knight Returns. Just come out with Dark Knight Returns movie. You know? Which, now that I'm mentioning it, would be a great way to have the in-between of the Flash movie and Batman Beyond. Just give us Dark Knight Returns in the middle. But then you're going to have to explain... I don't know. All I know is that Batman's starting to become a very oversaturated superhero. It's starting to get dull, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I still say The Boys on Amazon is probably the best superhero TV show to hit TV in probably the last 5 years.
I still haven't seen it, but I'm.
Yeah,
I know it's good. I know it's good.
That show in one episode will have your mouth drop open. You'll also feel
some of the things that happen in
yeah, it's probably the most intense superhero
That's why
show.
I'm waiting because I don't want to dive into it and then finish it.
Yeah, but you can also be part of the conversation, which is why most people do keep up with things. But before I leave, because I do gotta get off in a second,
I'll get into it.
I just wanted to just bring up once again, in my opinion, the best superhero show that has ever aired, period. Daredevil.
I agree.
Daredevil is the most faithful adaptation of not just character, but story and tone I have ever seen.
And backstory.
Yeah, everything.
That boxing stayed.
It should have though, absolutely. But I just wanted to go on saying, I just wanted to put some emphasis behind how much I adored. I'm gonna say this again. How much I adored Pocahontas. Thank you so much for the hype. I appreciate it. Just hearing my nerd rambling. But Daredevil season 3 was my favorite season. And not even just so much with Bullseye, but the character arc with Matt freaking Murdock. I'm talking the most, and Pocket, you used to go to Catholic school, so I would feel that in some way it also brings a tonal relation, because in the spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen Daredevil season 3, the very first episode, I knew we had fire. I knew fire, like my mind was gonna be blown, because you had Matt being resurrected from the rubble, which was a really big Jesus correlation, right? Because, you know, Daredevil, so I use these everywhere. But, you know, he resurrected, you know what I mean? And then on his first night out, tried to commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? And so he realized God didn't want it that way, dog. And I'm sorry. And then that's why he buried the red suit, because he stood for something else than that. He didn't want to be a symbol anymore. He wanted to be a force of nature. And I just think the parallels between him and Bullseye, I'm talking film in its masterclass. And that's not even touching on Vincent D'Onofrio, who did the GOAT work. I'm talking the GOAT work of Villainy, the supporting cast of Karen Page, which I thought was amazing, and Foggy Nelson, which became also a best friend to all of us while watching that show. That show was executed with perfection. Now, with that being said,
it was hard. It was hard when Matt disappointed Foggy a lot, because he kept finding out shit, and he was like, ah.
You know what's so funny? I found myself rewatch because I rewatched all 3 seasons multiple times. You know, sometimes I even let that show rock and not even watch it. I just like to hear the dialogue. But I argue that Foggy kind of went a little too hard on this boy, yo, because it's like. It's kind of like those people who act like they've never seen.
Just scared.
Right, but the entire time he was like, I don't know. He sounded like he was betrayed. Like, oh my God, you didn't tell me you were a superhero. What? And it's like, well, bro, like,
can you see at all?
It's a dangerous job, dog. But anyways, I appreciate everybody coming out. Pocket, this was amazing, and we did this on the fly, bro. I was just like, let's stream it. Let's get it going. We talking shit now, boy. We getting into it. But I'm gonna now bribe you all with my son one last time. 1 second. Oh, that's amazing. He soiled himself. My God.
He was proud of himself too.
Everybody say hi. This is Gabriel. He just turned 9 months today.
Hi, Gabriel.
He just turned 9 months today.
Yo, he got a grip though.
For real, bro. He's got that boxer's grip like a swallow. Right, Poppy? Oh, you still
I
sleeping?
could tell when he was gripping your string to your sweater there. Oh, like,
Yup.
damn, that baby got a grip.
Yep, right? He's sleeping.
He'll be holding his own bottle soon enough.
He's already been doing that.
Oh, he's already done it?
Hell yeah, we just leave that bottle with his ass now. But now he's starting to become where he does this thing where it's like you don't even need to be in the same room and you just know he's done because he'll toss the bottle like as if he's Thor, where he'll just like be like, another!
I'm done.
It's like, nah, bro, no. Not going to happen. But I love you guys. Thank you so much. Pocket, I'll still be on Discord with you.
You want to rate out first?
Yeah. Who am I reading out to?
Caught me off guard right there.
Yup, that's right. That's right. You wasn't ready for that.
I'm gonna pull up Discord and Discord's already up. I'm like, wow. Because I don't see anybody on my list that really see needs help. I'll just jump over here and then affiliate push right here. Oh, I can't see shit here.
This will be a nice little bit to post up on YouTube.
Alright, fine. Let's just go to Silver Stream.
Who?
Oh no, you were the last Silver Stream of the stream.
Yep. I didn't even put that I was live either. So I appreciate everybody coming out because I know you guys got the live notifications. And it's nice to know that still intrigues people to come in. Who's an affiliate push? Nobody.
Nobody. Oh wow, it's a lot of.
Well, who's just live then? I don't gotta make this complicated. Loso Reloaded?
Yeah, I guess.
Alright.
He's live.
He claimed at 10-11 that he was live. Alright, just make sure, because you know how this goes for me. Loso Reloaded. Alright. Alright, let's see if this works, because half the time this doesn't. Or it'll tell me invalid username, and then it'll bring it up to the person anyway. And I'm like, alright, asshole, well, I mean... Right, Poppy?
Get it together.
Right, Poppy? Right, Poppy? You're lazy. You don't want to set up for nothing, huh? Right, Poppy? Right, Poppy? Yes. Nice little bowel movement. I want to know. I'm trying to see if I can. I did, but it's saying valid username, so I don't. You know me. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. But let me see if I can do this again. I'm gonna try to do it from my phone.
Oh yeah, because sometimes it's easier.
Yep. Let's see.
It's shocking.
I just don't know how to do it from the phone, bro. Why has it got to be so damn difficult?
On the phone, it's easy.
How? How do I do it on the phone? Explain. Do I gotta go to his page?
Go to Streamer Manager.
Uh-huh. Come on, puppy.
It should have a button for it, right? No?
Where?
When you go into like where it says when it says you're live, click on your live, and then you click on Stream Manager. You should be able to see an option for it.
Where does it show it though? Like, do I have to type it in or like? I don't have like a raid bar or a raid button.
I don't know.
I'm gonna try seeing if I can raid it again through the chat. Cause you know I'm not going on Internet Explorer, or I mean Internet Explorer. You know I'm not going to the web browser. Let's see.
You copy and paste it.
I'm gonna try to do it all lowercase this time. So reloaded. Losa Reloaded's raid settings do not allow you to raid at this time. Wow. Well,
what?
So much for that.
Oh, well.
I never would have thought. Hold on, let me see who's live on my Twitch.
That's actually a setting?
It could be because he's not affiliated yet. And I don't know if you... Can you raid somebody if they're not affiliated?
Yeah, I've gotten raided when I wasn't affiliated.
Listen, bro, I just work here. I mean, why don't you stream now and I just send everybody your way?
What time is it?
All right, let me see what's on. Let me see.
I'm streaming for an hour and a half. Let me get my shit up first.
All right. I'm gonna send you over to Pocket, everybody. You'll be in good hands. And right when people started coming in too. Isn't this ironic? Well, I got everybody here. Meet Gabriel.
Meet Gabriel for the time being.
Hola, Gabriel. I love how you get so mesmerized. Right, puppy? Here, I get it. He's sick. That's why his breathing is like trash right now. But we're taking good care of him, obviously. Right, puppy?
He's with Papa Bear.
That's right. That's right. No better hands.
Just like the Mama Bear, they're just as good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have to put on your streaming outfit?
Yeah, I'm just my shit.
I still want that shout out, Pocket. Your camera? You know why? It's because it's Discord. What's up, Mr. Dark Knight? Thank you for coming by. I'm just getting ready to sign off. We got into a whole big rant of, well, I mostly obviously ranted about the state of DC today. I will be back on in a little bit. My son is sick, you know, so he needs my attention. And when he goes back to nap, I will be able to come back on. But that won't be for a couple hours. Yeah. You smell like shit, bro. Absolutely. No, he is. It's just I honestly think that he may have inherited my asthma because he gets a lot of RSV issues. But anyways, all right, let's raid.
Yeah, I'm live now.
You on now?
Yeah.
All right. Oh God, I forgot how to spell your name already. Is it J-U-S-T or just J-U-S?
JUSN.
Okay, 24.
Yep.
All right, guys, I'm gonna send you over to my trusted mate, Justin the Pocket 24. He will keep you entertained. I gotta be on daddy duty. Please stay tuned. Listen to those live notifications. I will be back on later. I will return to continue my bullshit. I have the asthma too, but that I thought I included it. I gotta grind all the time to keep it better. Love you guys. Thank you so much. I'll be back on later. Pocket, handle my lightweights.
Alright. Hey, what's up, Mr. Dark Knight? You are first. You are first. I don't know if you want to jump in. We could run some matches. I'll wait for you.